in the spirit of Antogatva, I gave a title about for this session as Wisdom About Vaccines. So I'll start off with a question and a small story. So let me start with this. So what do you see here? I'm sure you would say fort. I believe it is the Jhansi fort, but I'm not quite sure yet. I should do enough research about it. But what comes to your mind when you think of a fort? So another question could be, why build a fort and what is the purpose? So one quick answer could be that it is to protect people and resources. So when you make a statement that forts are to protect people and resources, the immediate obvious questions would be, from whom, right? So you could ask the same question slightly differently. Basically you can get a different answer by saying that forts are there to stop invaders. So the question then would be, who are these invaders? What are the goals of these invaders and how are they different from you? So essentially, any of these, so this particular idea of forts and protecting resources or stopping invaders come from the fact that there is a sense of self and non-self, the ability to distinguish self from non-selves. And the body is not very different in that sense. It's evolved to distinguish self from non-selves because that is what makes life as we know, right? So our human body, if we consider it as one life organism, living organism, then there is a sense of self and there's a sense of non-self. There's another idea that there's a sense of well-being and sense of danger. So these two things, the idea of self and non-self, which is protecting self from the non-self or ensuring well-being and avoiding danger, these two scenarios are the basis for the immune system or the ability to keep the self going by fighting the non-self. And surprisingly, this actually starts off very early in the evolutionary time. If you can actually look at even bacteria, which are everywhere, and this is actually an image of a 5-year-old's hand stamp on a bacterial medium. And you can see the diversity of bacteria just from a palm of a child. Now it turns out this actually exemplifies the fact that there's life across the spectrum. Like life can be found everywhere. And when there is prosperity, when life is thriving, that invites plunder. So here you see 2 petri dishes. The one on the left seems like there's nothing, but actually it's a carpet of bacteria happily growing because there's plenty of food. On the right side, you see a similar petri dish, but now infected with a pathogen. So it might surprise you, but at least surprise some of you, but there are pathogens even to bacteria. So these bacteria invading things are called bacteriophages, and they are at the brink of life and non-life. So they are viruses of bacteria called bacteriophages. So these circles that you see, which are kind of empty, are places where the bacteriophages have invaded bacteria and killed them, and they create these plaques. But bacteria have also, in this arms race, figured out a way to recognize and fight these invaders. So it turns out bacteria actually have 2 kinds of immunity. So they have innate immunity, which is kind of a non-specific, always present. So it protects its own. And so how do these bacteriophages, the invaders of the bacterial cell, function? They send in the information packets. The DNA of the viruses enter the bacteria. They take over the system, or they try to take over the system, and they make many, many copies of the bacteriophage. You will notice that this is not very different from viruses attacking our own cells. But more about it later. So it turns out there is a, a restriction modification system. That's what's it's called scientifically, which is a set of enzymes, protein machines, which can recognize all DNA, but there's a way that they protect their own DNA, and any invading DNA which is not protected is chewed up. So in a non-selective fashion. That's how it protects its own DNA from and ensures the foreign DNA is chewed up. On the other hand, a more recent, for the last maybe 15, 20 years, people have discovered that bacteria also have adaptive immune system, which is there's a mechanism, there is a surveillance and attack mechanism where a set of proteins along with RNA molecules are able to recognize invading phage DNA and keep a record of that in its own genome, more or less like a database of invaders, right? And then they use this database to continue to do a surveillance for in future infections. So this, on a side note, this adaptive immunity, also called the CRISPR-Cas system, has actually become an amazing technology for specific gene modifications. We will not talk about that today, but this is just to demonstrate or to actually talk about the ancientness or the amount of time, how ancient this system is. This is just to demonstrate another idea that the immune system, the whole idea, actually rose in the way we know it in the animal kingdom. And it happened with the innovation of molecules. So there are molecules restricted to jawed and jawless vertebrates, which are indicated in blue and green. So the blue ones are in jawed vertebrates and the green ones are in the jawless vertebrates. There are molecules that emerge at the stage of invertebrates. So there are several molecules. When I say molecules, these are predominantly proteins, which are part of the immune system. And then you have these genes, the recombination activating genes, the RAG-like genes, which are indicated in purple. They are of viral or bacterial origin. And they're also present in genomes of sea urchins and amphioxus, which are much lower, what we consider as lower organisms. So with the rise of multicellularity, that is, with animals or species, especially animal species, which have many cells, there was an innovation of different cell types. So which confer both innate immunity and adaptive immunity. So you can actually consider this entire complex system as something like the CID or the FBI or CIA in the United States. So they have multiple different functions, very, very specific functions, and they collaborate in an extraordinary way to give the ability to fight off invading pathogens. As I mentioned, this is like something like the CIA, where you have both the field agents as well as agents sitting in offices, which help each other to fight off enemies. So with that, I'll end. And I drew a lot of these things because I'm not a major, I don't have expertise in this area. I drew a lot of this information and inspiration from broadly 3 sources. The History of Vaccines. It's a wonderful website. I would encourage all of you to go check it out. A very nice relatively recent article by Iwasaki Akiko, How and Why Vaccines Work. And there's a fantastic YouTube channel called Kyrgyz Asked. In a nutshell, there's some really good videos about the immune system. I would strongly encourage you to watch those videos and check out that website. And I would like to thank again the organizers of Antogatva, and a special thanks to Jahnavi, who uh, asked me if I could give a talk, and I'm delighted. I hope this was interesting to you all, and I would love to hear your feedback after you listen to this talk. Thank you very much, and wishing you all well.